When Noah's wife, Elena, returned from her week-long work trip to Chicago, he felt nothing but relief. She looked tired but radiant, dragging her suitcase through the apartment door like a traveler returning from war. He hugged her, breathed in her familiar perfume, and told himself that everything was fine again. They talked about meetings, late dinners, and long hours. She laughed as she unpacked, tossing clothes onto the bed, her voice filling the small New York apartment with normalcy. For a while, it felt like life had resumed its rhythm. But that illusion didn't last long. Later that evening, as Noah sorted through the laundry, he noticed something strange on one of Elena's silk dresses, a faint white stain near the neckline, another along the fabric. At first, he dismissed it as a splash of wine or a coffee spill from some corporate dinner. But when he leaned closer, the marks looked different, thicker, irregular, wrong. A quiet unease settled in his stomach. He shook it off. People spilled things. She'd been traveling. Still, he folded the dress separately, pretending it was nothing. Though his heart was already whispering possibilities, his mind refused to say out loud. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw that dress. By morning, curiosity had become obsession. While Elena showered, he pulled the dress back out, holding it up to the light. The stains were faint but unmistakable. And suddenly, the small cracks that had lived between them, the missed calls, the business trips, the vague smiles, split open into a canyon. He told himself not to accuse her without proof, but proof had become the only way to breathe. That afternoon, Noah did something he never thought he would. He placed the dress in a plastic bag and drove it to a private lab uptown. His hands trembled as he filled out the form, writing organic residue analysis in the description line. The technician barely looked at him. To them, it was routine. To him, it was the collapse of everything he believed about love. The next few days dragged like slow torture. He acted normal, cooking dinner, asking about work, smiling when she laughed. But every moment felt staged, as though he were living beside a stranger wearing his wife's face. 3 days later, the envelope arrived. Noah sat in his car for an hour before opening it. He watched pedestrians cross 3rd Avenue, people with places to go, and no idea what truth could do to a man. When he finally tore it open, his breath left him. The stains were organic. They weren't food, detergent, or anything that belonged to him. The report was clinical, cold, merciless, confirming what his instincts had whispered for months. That night, he couldn't even look at her. Elena sat across the table, talking about deadlines and her next presentation in Boston, while he stared at his untouched plate. She noticed his silence. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. He nodded once, afraid his voice would betray him. For a week, he said nothing. He hid the report in his desk drawer and stared at it every night, the way people stare at old wounds they can't stop reopening. He replayed every "I love you," every kiss goodbye, wondering when truth had left and performance began. Finally, one evening, he broke. They were eating takeout on the couch when he asked quietly, "Did anything happen on your work trip that you haven't told me?" She froze. Her chopsticks stopped midair. A flicker of panic flashed through her eyes before she masked it with a small, nervous laugh. "What are you talking about?" That single question, defensive, rehearsed, was the confession he didn't need spoken. Noah stood, went to his desk, and returned with the envelope. He placed it on the coffee table between them. When she opened it, color drained from her face. Her lips parted, but no words came out. She tried to deny, then to cry, then to turn it around, accusing him of invading her privacy, of not trusting her. But the evidence was printed in black and white. Trust had already drowned. He walked out of the living room without a word and slept in the guest room. That night, she knocked softly. "Noah, please, it's not what you think." But it was exactly what he thought. And for the first time, he realized how silence could be louder than shouting. Days passed, like shadows moving through the same space. They still shared the apartment, but not the life within it. Every sound, the kettle boiling, the shower running, felt distant, like echoes of a home already abandoned. One evening, as rain drummed against the window, Elena stood by the door with her suitcase. Her eyes were swollen, her voice small. "I'm going to my sister's for a while. Maybe it's best." Noah simply nodded. He didn't ask her to stay. He didn't need closure. The truth had already spoken for both of them. After she left, the apartment fell silent. He wandered from room to room, feeling the strange peace that followed devastation. On the bed lay the dress, freshly washed, spotless now. But to him, the stains would never be gone. Sitting by the window, he realized something simple yet absolute. A marriage without trust isn't wounded, it's dead. And no apology, no explanation could resuscitate it. The stains hadn't ruined the fabric. They'd revealed it. Now, when Noah folds the laundry alone, he does it without bitterness. He's learned that some truths, no matter how painful, are cleaner than the lies we tried to live with. He doesn't hate her. He just no longer needs her story to believe his own. The stains are gone, but their meaning stays, permanent, invisible, and unwashed.